Hello, Internet, and welcome to Nerd Break, the podcast where we take a break from life and nerd out about our favorite things. I am your host, Joseph, and joining me this week are two of my best friends in the entire universe, Zombs.
It's me, Zombs.
And Moxie.
I am really holding my breath that this year goes good.
And you need
Why
all
wouldn't it?
the help you can get.
Oh, I think we all need all the help we can get.
What's wrong with this year?
Gee, that's a loaded question.
Ooh, that is a loaded 9mm, my friend.
I've been having a lot of fun.
I'm sure you have.
This week we have lots to discuss, so let's just get into all the craziness that has been this past week. Moxie, would you like to explain and kick things off?
Yeah, so you're asking exactly what I've been doing this week, huh?
Yes.
Well, so for me, I have decided to finally try the free trial of the Final Fantasy Online. So I will be checking that out and hopefully reporting back on that. As far as other things, aside from training at work, which is totally fun, I have tried to get back into gaming because I've had a lull. I have gotten into Dauntless again, as I mentioned, been playing that with a few friends, and have been keeping up with the tabletop games. Last weekend, I actually had a fun time and had some friends over, and we basically did board game night until about 1 o'clock in the morning when we started watching just spoof videos, and then the movie Knives Out, which if you haven't seen the movie Knives Out, check it out. It's probably a one-time view only kind of movie. You probably won't watch it again, but it was a nice, decent twist.
I've seen previews of that, and it looked like it was supposed to be funny.
It's supposed to be funny and also very emotional. And I actually thought one thing, and by the end of the movie, didn't really realize what was going on. And we were told the answer to the whole murder, not even like 10, 15 minutes into the movie. But we weren't told who did it. So we were told the answer, but missing that piece of information. Because we were alluded to think one thing, but it was really the other. It was, yeah, interesting. I do recommend it, but again, it's probably going to be a one view only kind of thing. I don't see people rewatching this. I really don't.
Interesting.
Unless you're a fan of Frank Oz, and that's about it.
Nope, I'm not. What else have you been doing this week? I know that you mentioned that you picked up the Final Fantasy online trial. I assume that was Final Fantasy 14?
Yes, Final Fantasy 14. I have a few friends who are trying to get me into it. I'm going to see if I can actually play a little bit of it, maybe do a review. But besides that, yeah, it's going to be the Final Fantasy, I think, this weekend. I'm going to touch a little bit on that. And then also, I've gotten into miniature painting again. D&D, I was painting a few figures for my roommate, and I tried to get as much as I could on a couple of his figurines. But let me tell you, first time painting miniatures, not bad, but might have cramped up my arm as a result. I have icy hot currently on it. I pulled a muscle. Either how I slept or the position I was holding it in for 3 hours painting.
You need like a little vise of some sort to put it in to keep it steady for you.
I do have that. It's a holder actually for the miniature, but it's still, in order to get the teeny tiny details of the, clothing, I see Zoms is nodding his head. Some of these miniatures are really detailed. So trying to get all of that painted is a nightmare sometimes.
You have to show us your work when you're done.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, but do keep in mind, again, I'm not an expert and it's my first miniature I ever painted. And it is not great. I will be the first to admit, not great at all. But
I'm
I
pretty
keep
sure
painting.
you'll be better than my friend who paints miniatures. What he does is he just dips them in like a thing of paint and he's done.
That hurts
Ah,
my soul.
Hmm.
I would be more inclined to do more than that.
That hurts my soul on so many levels. And I don't have a soul.
Yeah.
Wherever it's at, it's hurting.
Yes, deep down somewhere.
Maybe it's with the villager you kicked off your island.
Snake, he deserved it. He finally, okay, after a whole year, I finally kicked him off. I'm so proud of myself. I have Bud the Lion moving in, and he's going to be moving into my village tomorrow. And apparently, he is a jock lion with pink sunglasses and Hawaiian shirts. So it's going to be like Jimmy Buffett all day long on my island. It's going to be great.
He sounds somewhat similar to Snake, being a jock type character.
Yes, but his hobby is different because you can have characters that are sassy, jock, whatever, but then have a sub interest. Like I have two grumpy characters. One is into nature, the other one is into sports. And they act totally different.
I'm just thinking of the Snake fiasco and wondering if it's going to start all over again.
The guy talks like, or the lion talks like a surfer dude. I think I'm gonna be totally fine. The minute
Yeah.
the weird dialogue starts coming in, then I'll kick butt off. But Snake has been evicted. The evil
Well,
has been defeated.
you know what's going to happen, don't you?
Snake's not coming back. I've already put I've already put signs with his face with a big like no over it. Yeah, he's not allowed back on my island. No pink bunnies.
Zoms, Snake is headed for your island. Just wait.
You know, it's funny. I was playing Animal Crossing and I did not notice that somebody had moved into the vacant house that I had made, and it was like really quick. I put this house up and already somebody moved in, and I was like, oh, okay. So I went and it was, I don't know if any of you guys know who this is. It's a rooster.
Oh my,
Oh,
is it like Chuck
it
or Buck?
probably is.
Oh no.
What? It's
Oh no. What do you
his name is
know?
his name is Benedict.
Oh no,
Oh,
it is!
wow!
It is! You got Benedict. That was one of my first villagers. So he's passed from my island to Brosif's
And now to
to your
Zoms.
Zombs. He's like the plague. He keeps spreading.
That's how it's working. You realize that, don't you? That's why I'm saying Snake is headed to one of our islands.
You know what? Whoever gets Snake, you can keep him. I don't want him.
Well,
I
I'm
really
not
don't want him.
evicting anybody. I refuse.
I'll take care of Benedict.
Benedict,
Okay.
I actually was reluctant on letting go, but I really had to let him go. It was time. I did enjoy him though. He was a fun character.
I'm just sensing that there's a tier list here started in Animal Crossing where the villagers start on Moxie's island, come to my island, then go to some guy named Zom's island just because they can.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a weeding out. Whichever one is not cool enough to stay on the cool island just gets tossed around. Kind of like those in the lineup for dodgeball. You just kind of go down the line. Who doesn't make the cut gets passed around.
So I guess
Who wants this person on their team? Who wants that
my
person?
island has all the misfits on it.
Yeah, there you go. He got
Yeah,
Benedict. Benedict was good though. I liked him.
Benedict was just another stupider version of the cat that's on my island that I can't remember the name of right now. Dang it. Sorry, Moxie,
No,
but
it's
I'm
fine.
impartial to my cat. Mo, that's his name.
There you
Mo.
go. Yeah, the one who keeps talking about the fruit fountain every time I go over there and talk to him. It's always like Do you see this jug of water with fruit in it? This is my favorite thing. I will not stop talking about this. I won't shut up. Every time you come to see me, Moxie, this is what I'm going to talk about. Your cat's obsessed with fruits.
Can't help it. I can't help that at all. So, Zoms, what have you been doing this week?
Besides hanging out with Benedict.
Yes, besides hanging out with an egg.
So actually, I've been doing a lot. I've been messaging you guys, and I've been wanting to talk about it. I started playing. I finally got a memory card for my Switch, um, and I got Immortals: Phoenix Rising, and it is amazing. I started playing this at like 10 o'clock at night. Said I'll just play for like maybe an hour at the most, and I was playing, and my eyes were really tired but wide awake. And the next thing I knew, I looked over, and I had started at 10, and it was now 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow. You must have really got addicted.
Dude.
hmm It was a lot of fun, and it I got the Breath of the Wild vibes. I felt like I was like they just remasked it. You go into these dungeons and you have to solve puzzles, and they're really fun. Um, Trying to figure them out. You also get items that help you, such as like you get the wings of what's that Greek story? The where the person has the wings and they
Icarus?
fly too high.
Yeah, that would be
Yes,
Icarus.
you get the wings, and you get other people's weapons. You get a hammer, you get a an axe, spears, um, and a sword, and you also get different armors and stuff like that. And different armors have different attributes. It was a lot of fun just running around. The world is it's beautiful. Um, Climbing up on things and seeing everything, it's really neat. I just really enjoyed it. Honestly, I felt like I was playing WoW again, like solo, um, which also came up. I really, really, really want to play WoW again.
Play with me. Come on,
I
man.
know, I know,
Come
I
on.
will.
You're killing me, Smalls.
And my name is Zoms, but
You're a small zombie, okay?
I am more on the travel size. Yeah.
Dude, you're the same size as I am.
Anyways,
Going back to Immortals Phoenix Rising, though, you said you were drawing a lot of comparisons to Breath of the Wild. You have played Breath of the Wild, though, right?
yes.
Okay. What kind of, because I've heard the same thing that it feels and looks, and there's a lot of comparisons directly to Breath of the Wild, but there are differences. What kind of parallels, differences are you seeing since you're going hands-on with this?
The artwork, um, just like running around. When you use your wings and your gliding, it was a like the glitter in Breath of the Wild. You do find wildlife that you can ride, and I'm riding. I felt like I was riding in Breath of the Wild. The scenery, it's looks pretty similar. I'd say the scenery is more bright in Immortals: Phoenix Rising, but just all of it, especially, and then doing the puzzles too. I know in some of the temples in Breath of the Wild, you go in and figure out how to go around and go through to get to the end of the temples dungeons. Same thing in Immortals: Phoenix Rising. The only difference that I'd seen in here is you have the narration of the gods in the background, which adds to the humor. Zeus is a pretty funny, cocky guy. Um, Prometheus is the main storyteller, and he's great. He should be a dungeon master. It would be the most epic dungeon master ever.
This brings a question to my mind. Do you think that the voice acting in Immortals Phoenix Rising is better than Breath of the Wild?
Uh,
Ooh, hard-hitting question.
Honestly, I don't have a problem with either one. Um, I did hear some issues about Immortals Phoenix Rising with their accents, and honestly, I don't know unless you're a hardcore like Greek person. Um, you do notice the accents, but to me, it's fine. I think it's great.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else you've been doing? I mean, we all know you had to have watched some anime at some point.
I did. I was going back and forth. That's why my desk was turned around. Um, I did see a lot of anime, uh, which I can. Some of them I want to explain later, but oh, just so much anime to the point where my car is getting animated out now. I'm gonna have a waifu mobile.
Oh,
That doesn't surprise me.
Um, but yeah, watching a lot of anime. Keeping up on Doctor Stone. This new season for the Stone Wars is it's great. Also with I was reincarnated as a slime is great. There's a new isekai out called I was reincarnated as a spider. So what? This one kind of different. It's a girl. There have been girl isekais before. Some of my favorites, such as like Bofuri. Um, I don't want to get hurt, so I max out my defense. That's the name of it.
Which
That
is
one,
absolutely amazing anime, by the way.
it is amazing. The boss fight that she does. She runs out of magic. She runs out of items, so she eats the boss. So Brosiv's face there, his eyes just grew. Yes, Brosiv. She basically she gets into a stalemate with this boss who shoots acid, but her acid resistance is like up now because all she does she just all her points she puts them all into her stats for defense, and then she keeps getting attacked with acid and she keeps healing herself. So eventually her acid resistance goes up, and she's got nothing to do. So she can't hurt this the giant boss snake thing, and it can't hurt her. So out of frustration, she runs up and bites a chunk out of it, and it starts doing damage. And so she just eats the boss, and then it dies.
well,
It's
okay then.
hilarious.
It was hilarious.
It makes your brain rot, but that's sometimes a good thing.
She's also pretty sinister, I think. Um, she gets to this point where she gets a turtle, she makes the turtle huge, and then she makes it fly. And this is all due to like perks from her winning like a competition. And people are like, "Why would you do that?" And then she was like, "I want to try something out." So she flies up over this herd of cows and she makes it rain acid on them. And the cows are all freaking out and they're dying and everything. And she's got this evil laugh. And it's like, why would you do that? But yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
and she's like this cutesy girl. Um, so it's really great. I would definitely recommend it. I want there to be more free. Um, so yeah. Um, but yeah, watching anime, drawing. I picked up drawing, and I got more manga. I was reading Skeleton Knight uh, in Another World. Um, it's another Skeleton Knight manga, not like the other one where the Skeleton Knight fails to defend the dungeon. I want more of that. I'm still waiting. It's in the process, so I've caught up. I'm going to contact the creator and give them money to make more faster, just for me.
The-
Also, yeah, I did play a bit of guitar. Other than that, a lot of working. No classes right now, so not until February, but almost.
yeah, February will be here before you know it. That's only next week. So,
So next
Please
week
don't
I
remind
start
me.
my classes, and then we'll get into the Lovers Month, Joseph's favorite
Ugh.
month.
Gag me.
well, to prevent you from gagging, I'll just go over what I've been doing lately.
I mean,
Okay,
proceed.
go ahead, tell us.
I actually don't have a lot to say. have kind of been extremely lazy. I actually got the Labo vehicle set, and I was able to put together the steering wheel and the pedal. I only just finished that. That took me several evenings to put together because I did it in chunks, about an hour at a time.
How easy is it to put that Labo together?
Oh, it's really easy. Anybody can do it. It just takes time because all it is folding cardboard together, and all the pieces are pre-punched. So you just gotta pop them out, fold it, put it together. Most complicated parts of that are like putting on rubber bands. Actually, no, sticking on stickers. There are reflective stickers that you have to put on. That's probably about as complicated as it gets.
Okay, I was concerned with um, like messing up the cardboard and then you screwed up your whole project.
If you're careful, you really don't have to worry about it. Do keep in mind that Labo was technically made with children in mind, anyways. Granted, adult supervision would be a good idea for kids that are too young, but
Did you have
honestly,
adult supervision?
well, thankfully, I'm of an age that I am considered an adult.
So he's an old man.
There
Hmm.
you go. Unlike you, Zoms, if you remember correctly, you're Moxie's son, so you're actually
Yes,
younger than both
my
of us.
boy. Wait, can I be like All Might
No,
and go like Midoriya, my boy, my boy,
you are permitted once to say that, never again.
my
Do
boy?
do I have to eat your hair?
I knew
I
this was
mean,
coming.
hey, at least I use a really nice shampoo and conditioner. My hair is very healthy. Wouldn't be too bad.
I would be like after after I eat it and Brosa looks at me and I look over and I said it smelled like strawberries. It didn't taste like strawberries. With just a blank stare.
And I'd be like, well,
Yeah,
that's odd because it's sandalwood.
I knew that was coming too. Something
Eh,
neat though with the Labo with the steering wheel is I actually could use it in Mario Kart 8, but I don't really recommend it because the steering is finicky and I would oversteer and then just wind up in a wall. It took a lot to figure out how far is just far enough to do the right amount of steering. So I really wouldn't
Just
recommend
like
that.
real driving.
Um, yeah, in a way, but this being a video game, especially being Mario Kart, it's very hard to tell how far is too far before you've wound up in the wall because it's just too sensitive, it seems like.
I
Other
uh
than that, yeah.
I was hanging out with friends in Ventura because that just reminded me. And one of my friends needed to get to work, and she doesn't drive. And then so one of us had to drop her off, but nobody wanted to go. So I just tossed her the keys and I said, "Here you go, take my car." And she goes, "I don't know how to drive." And I said, "Gas pedal, brake pedal, traffic signs. Green means go, red means stop. There you go." And I walked away. That's all you need.
No, I think you need something else.
Oh, your seatbelt. Don't forget your seatbelt.
Try a license.
Moving on. So what else have you been up to, Broseph?
Indeed. Um, Other than that, I'm still going through the original Stargate SG-1, watching that very slowly. I'm up to season 3, and
How is
really,
that, by the way?
oh, I love the show, honestly. It's one of my favorites of all time. I could gush about it forever, but I won't. I will restrain myself.
I haven't seen it. Bros, we should have like a viewing party where I'll watch it with you.
I'd be okay with that. I'm surprised you haven't seen any of it, though.
I saw the movie where they go to the pyramids and the parasites like take over your body.
Okay, well, then you have seen something, at least.
That's all I saw.
Well, that can be enough. If that didn't get your interest, then the show probably won't.
No, it did get my interest.
Oh, well.
It's
You,
just there's a lot of anime.
you know, there was actually a Stargate cartoon. kind of anime-ish.
but not an anime.
I don't know how you'd classify it, to be honest.
An anime is not cartoon.
Well, it wasn't funny, let's put it that way.
Hmm. I'm defending all the other otakus out there. For everybody who has watched anime, and people have to say that comment, so you watch cartoons, and it is the most appalling thing ever. You let out the gasp, the anime is not cartoons. I got your back. Let's talk about it. Send me an email, and I'd like to hear all the rants that everybody has. Rosa, what's that email?
Uh, well, if we're going to plug this early, then I will say it's nerdbreakpodcast at gmail.com. Send
Fantastic.
send all listener mail addressed to Zombs, including angry hate mail.
I will read it. I'll read it all. I'm a very good listener. You can tell by the way I drink a soda pop.
I actually did get one thing in today that I want to share real quick, which is from Limited Run Games.
Ooh, I'm excited. Everybody be quiet.
It's don't get too excited because it's not the blind boxes I ordered, but I did get
Oh,
two
never
games
mind.
in. I got in Mighty Gunvolt Burst, very good game.
That looks cool.
Oh yes, it is. It's for anybody that likes the Mega Man 2D run and gun games, this is really, really good. It has a unique system in it where you can actually customize your shot a lot of different ways. It's practically an infinite number of different options to mix and match between to customize the shots of the characters. And they just kept expanding it over time with new characters. And it wound up with 9 total. Started out with 2, wound up with 9, which is crazy. More exciting though for you, Zoms, I got this in the physical version of
Ooh,
Grandia HD collection for the Switch.
I uh, I have only played the third one, and the artwork. It's a turn-based RPG, but I don't know how to describe it. It's so different, and I love it.
Well, when I get the chance, I'm gonna play this and see how it goes. This only has the first 2 games in it, and the art style looks vastly different between the 2. And I heard in a review that I listened to that the games were vastly different. So we'll find out soon. More interestingly, though, this is saying it's by Square Enix. It is one of the licensees on this game, so that's interesting. Limited Run got a hold of a Square Enix property. Who knew? Well, I think that does it for what we've been doing this week, so let's go ahead and kick over to the news. And starting off, which this is interesting enough, the Connect is not dead. It's getting a brand new game, but the
What's
game's
the
only
game?
available. Well, the game's only available on PC, and it's coming out later this year. The game is Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator.
Hmm,
I'll let that soak in for a minute.
it's soaked in right away.
Organ trading simulator.
A Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator.
Okay, so it's like Repo Man in space. Got it.
Yeah.
I,
And
I like how
nobody.
Zoms is nodding like he gets the reference. Good movie.
Good
This is
movie.
crazy. There's no reason to offer Connect usage in this game, but it's coming out later this year and it's coming out on Steam.
I mean, 2021. Sure.
Yeah, we get all the crazy stuff now. It's nuts.
Okay, so it's for the Connect.
Well, no, the game has an option to use the Connect.
Oh,
You don't have to use it, but it has an option for it.
I think Microsoft just needs to figure out what to do with that Connect.
Yep.
Uh, you know what they can do with it? I have the perfect idea right here, right now. Let's go to our local trash mountain, throw all the available connects there, and then light a fire and walk away.
That would
Like
be
what they should
terrible
have
for
done
the
to the
atmosphere.
ET games.
No, see, they just buried the ET games.
Well, they should have used fire too.
But then we wouldn't have gotten the documentary of them unburying them.
I mean, this is true, but they still should have used some fire.
Fire!
Plus, if they really truly did that, we wouldn't get a Space Warlord organ trading simulator that used the Kinect. So there you go. Moving on to our next piece of news that's
Fire
also
is
very
fun.
strange. The designer of Tingle from The Legend of Zelda, Takaya Imamura, has retired from Nintendo. Things that he also worked on were F-Zero and Star Fox.
Man, somebody break the news to Vinny from Vine Sauce.
Okay.
Ugh, Tingle's design. That's all I'm saying.
You know, though, he helped design characters on Star Fox and F-Zero. He created Captain Falcon. So,
I wanted to be Captain Falcon at one point.
did you?
Yep.
Should
I
have.
did not know that.
Thought he was a cool guy. Now I want to be Bowser.
Which
It-
one?
Bowsette, probably.
No, Bowsette and Bowser are two separate people.
Well, there's
You say
actually
that.
still two separate people when you're talking about Bowser, because there is a Bowser that is the president of Nintendo.
Ooh, I could be him too. That would be cool.
Oh, yeah, that would be
I would.
cool.
I would probably get a very short time as in his position, and I would like flip Nintendo sideways.
That could be a problem all in of itself.
It could be, or it could be an amazing thing that people were just waiting for. And they said, remember in the time in 2021 when Nintendo did all this crazy stuff? That was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, Nintendo already does lots of fun stuff, so I really don't see how that's any different.
Oh, it could be different because you can have more fun.
Well, hopefully, Takaya Imamura is going to have fun in his retirement. If for some reason, somehow, he listens to us, Nerd Break salutes you and wishes you well in your retirement.
You enjoy it, man.
Or is he going to go golfing?
You know, you never know. You never know. Moving on to the next news piece, briefly here, and something that I consider very awesome is that someone had suggested a Metroid Lego set to Lego, and it's getting close to having enough votes to actually, go into full consideration by Lego and maybe even become a full official Lego set, which is crazy cool.
Would you buy it?
Oh, yes, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I knew we would.
He does like Mega Blocks.
Don't you dare say Mega Blocks to a Lego.
He's
Don't
gonna
you
say it
dare.
again. He's gonna keep saying it.
Well, I'm going to blank out his mind by quickly saying another news
Mega
piece,
Blocks.
which is that Atelier Ryza 2 is getting the obligatory beachwear, swimwear, DLC.
I
I gotta play
mean,
it.
that doesn't surprise me.
And my copy's actually on the way, hopefully.
So we're both gonna play it.
What was that?
So you're gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. Moxie's gonna play it.
Maybe. I wouldn't rule that out completely.
Reviews are coming in, and it looks like this one is kind of sounding like it's gonna be the best one to date. So now would be an interesting time to jump on. This is an unusual circumstance that a main character in an Atelier game gets a sequel.
I hadn't played any of them, but seeing the hype from all of it, I believe that I should give it a shot.
Yes, you should. For what it's worth, if I had waifus, I could say that Ryza probably would be one of them.
Really now? Okay, I'm gonna have to go and play this and figure out which one.
On our next piece of news, The Monster Hunter movie that everybody kind of, forgot about existing is getting a second chance at life and success as it finally hits DVD and Blu-ray coming March. Stay tuned for us
The-
as we don't watch it.
yeah, I will believe it when it actually comes out because at this point,
You know, looking at this movie, looking at the cover for the movie for the DVD copy, all this really makes me think is that, gee, I can't wait for Monster Hunter Rise to come out.
Hey, you and I played that.
Yeah, and that was fun. The movie looks like garbage, but the game was kind of fun. So there.
Moving on.
Next up, the iconic movie monster, the Predator, has come to Fortnite.
I saw that. I am a fan of the Predator, but I know I'm gonna pay for the skin. If I can possibly get it for free, I'll do it because you have to do certain things in the game and do the different missions, and you can earn all of the attachments for the Predator skin,
There are attachments. Good grief.
such as like the harvesting tool, which is a pickaxe, a backpack, the emotes, and I think a
Hmm,
secondary skin.
interesting. Moving on, though, in more news, this time news that will please Moxie greatly, Famitsu, the Japanese magazine that very regularly reviews games, gave a score for Disgaea 6.
tell me
What's the
that
score?
sweet, sweet score.
It is 33 out of 40.
You know what? I'll take that. That's a good solid score.
Yes, it is. It was, for anyone that doesn't know how Famitsu does their scoring, four individual people give a score on a ranking of 1 out of 10, and then those scores are combined into a score of 0 to 40. So the actual score for Disgaea 6 is one reviewer gave a 9, and the other three gave the game an 8. So that was 3 eights, 1 9, totaling up to 33.
Yeah, that's a good solid start. Um, I knowing the Disgaea series, being a big fan of it, that kind of doesn't surprise me because they honestly take a lot of time with the Disgaea brand. And sure, you can say there's a lot of padding in it because you have to keep leveling and grinding and leveling and grinding. But it's a lovable franchise for a reason.
I actually forgot, and I'll mention it now. I actually did go hands on with the Japanese demo for Disgaea 6.
And what'd you think?
Let's put it this way, if you've played a Disgaea game, you can play through the demo without having to know Japanese. You won't understand dialogue, of course, and them while they're
Yeah.
talking. And I actually didn't get to hear the voice acting because at the time I wasn't playing in a place that I could hear it. But yeah, the demo through the main you with the main character in at him being level 9,999. So he's murdering everybody. I had very little
Mm,
contention.
sweet.
Plus he was counterattacking
Delicious.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
I actually took video that I was going to share with you, and I'll have to
You
post
should
that
have.
after the podcast.
Yeah.
I was
Or
having an issue,
include it in the podcast as a bit of video. Put it right here
perhaps.
with me talking. Me talking over you killing.
Yeah, I might try to do that. But
Counter.
yeah,
Counter counter. Counter counter counter. Counter 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 counter.
oh boy.
Disgaea way.
Let's put it this way, Moxie, you will thoroughly love the game when it comes out. I guarantee it.
Oh, I
I
look
love
forward to
Moxie's energy when we talk about Disgaea. If ever we need a pickup, I know what to do now.
Yeah, seriously. Just bring up Disgaea. Go like, hey, yo, I'm thinking about playing. You got any advice? What's your opinion on it? Just, yeah, let me go off. I will go off.
Well, I'm going to transition us over to the next news topic. As something big happened, and that was Resident Evil 8 got a demo.
Big lady.
and another multiplayer game that's exclusive to the PS4 for some reason, but you can play it on PS5 also. So who knew?
Wait, Resident Evil is
Yes.
uh multiplayer?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
there's Resident Evil Reavers, which is a multiplayer game.
yeah.
This is not the first multiplayer game that they've had. This is just
Oh no.
another game
hmm
in the cog.
But I'm just excited. Again, it's like Disgaea. Mention Resident Evil. I get excited. And apparently
Well,
the internet's been going crazy with the big lady. Don't check Reddit, guys.
okay, I won't. But the demo is evidently exclusive to PS5 for the time being, and there's no plans to bring it to Xbox. And the demo actually is not part of the main game. So kind of looks like we're almost dealing with a PT type situation.
That's exciting because I know
Yeah.
PT had it actually existed, which I'm still very mad at that. Don't get me ranting. Had it actually come into existence, we would have had a totally different game. So if that's true, I really wonder what the full game's gonna be like because I have watched those playthroughs. I'm so delighted.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to say the least. Um, from what I've heard, the demo isn't actually super scary, so it'll be interesting to see how the actual game turns out. But with the way that Resident Evil 7 turned out, I have pretty high hopes that 8 will be really good. In the complete opposite of that, though, comes our next news piece in the fact that Activision Blizzard is just coming around and destroying things. They have bought up Vicarious Visions.
Yeah. There's actually reports that Blizzard is actually dying. Um, I don't know if you've read those reports, you too, but there's a few claims that financially Blizzard isn't doing too well in some of their sections and some of their, because you've got the main hub for Blizzard and then you've got the smaller companies that, the smaller sections of Blizzard. I really don't know how to explain it right now because I'm brain fried, but I'm sure you understand what I mean.
Oh yes, I understand. This is where corporate restructuring comes in. It will be a thing. Just wait. Guaranteed.
Actually, I was talking about this with somebody the other day, and they go back and forth with playing WoW, much like myself. And we were talking with somebody else who has never played WoW but has always wanted to. What hinders her from playing is the fact that you have to pay. Um, my friend did explain that you can technically play for free if you complete these dailies every day and stuff like that. But I mean, it's a process. Um, and we were
It
talking
takes
about,
up most of your playing time. I actually know a few
yeah,
people who do this. It takes up most of your playing time, which actually takes away from you doing the main storyline. Not to butt in there, but I
yeah.
wanted to support what Zoms was saying there.
But we were talking about how World of Warcraft is not as popular as what it used to be. We were talking about all the commercials that they have, such as Mr. T's Night Mohawk, because Mr. T is probably actually pretty handy with computers. None of us has probably ever thought about that, but he could be. We don't know. His words. Uh, and we were talking about after school, some people would like run to this local coffee place called Coffee Bean, and they still exist. They're just not as popular anymore, but they had the free Wi-Fi, so people would take their laptops and play WoW and stuff in there. Good times. Um, I think that it was a better time, and actually, when I had played WoW, I actually saved money because I wasn't going out anywhere. I wanted to stay home and play, and I think it's perfect for the pandemic right now. Everybody should
Yep.
get into WoW. Let's make the stock prices go up.
And if it helps, like I do the bundle where I will do the 6 months, 12 months at a time kind of thing. Back when I had a bonus at my previous workplace, I would just do the 12 month. I do the 6 month now, and it actually saves me about like $25 to $30, depending on like and that way it does save me money. I don't fall for the microtransactions in the game. I don't do any of the, um, like buy the mounts, buy this, buy that, unless they are heavily discounted. Like there was that one mount for $6. No lie, it was like $6. Anyway, but yeah, no, Zoms. I agree with Zoms there too. I'm sorry, it's been a long night.
I think that the PC generation, um, they should try to market towards them right now because I see games, like Fortnite or Roblox, and I just see so many parents buying that currency that parents, they complain, but I see them all the time purchasing all the currency, and it's like, wow, they'll spend hundreds of dollars a month. Maybe if Blizzard could market towards these kids and jump on that bandwagon, and there you go.
Yeah.
It'll
One thing that's against WoW though is it's been around, unfortunately. Been around a while.
Hey, you know what? I was uh I was seeing this beer commercial. Okay, and I'm allowed to say that, right? I'm allowed to say beer.
I will permit it.
So I saw this beer commercial, and the slogan, so simple, yet it made a lot of sense. And it was like, um, we're not uh, we're not the best because we're the oldest. We're the oldest because we're the best.
Are you saying because Broseph is ancient here that he's the best? Because I have a disagreement with that.
I actually like that now.
Yeah, you know what? You really shouldn't have given him any kind of boost to his ego. We really didn't need that.
Maybe he does need it in life. It is Valentine's Day is coming up, so
No, we're gonna rub it in, are we?
but WoW
There
is
may be a little something extra in your non-existent paycheck come Valentine's Day. Let's put it that way.
I accept it. Anyways, yes, so Blizzard has been around a while, yes, but I think that they can figure it out.
Sure, unless they pull pull a CD Project Red.
Well,
Uh,
shoot. Why don't we just talk about them next?
oh,
Moving on
are we
to our
are we
next
doing a
topic.
segue?
Yes,
Our
since
next
you brought
topic.
them up,
Mm.
because they brought forth a brand new patch to Cyberpunk 2077, and now there's another game-breaking bug that actually is tied to a story mission, and nobody can get past it. Thereby, nobody can advance the story in the game, and
God.
it's just complete
Oh.
firestorm right now.
Ooh, where's my bingo card? Where is my bingo card? I think I just almost made bingo with this.
This
Oh,
is sad,
oh,
honestly.
this is pathetic. This is utterly pathetic. Like,
They they
really?
they tell you a solution to try and get around it,
Oh, yeah, because
but it's game breaking,
so they
literally.
tell you a solution to get around it, but they released it in the first place broken. Oh my god. I mean, I had so much high hope for this game, and it's just it's driving me nuts.
Yeah, I mean, even the workaround says that you have to see if it works. Because it actually isn't technically a real true workaround. What it amounts to is that during a specific story mission, you get into a conversation with another character. And what happens is the conversation starts, but the bug then doesn't actually start the conversation. It doesn't start the voices or anything. So your character literally is just standing there with the picture of another character in a phone call with you, and nothing happens. You're stuck, perpetually, infinitely stuck in this situation, unable to
This
do anything.
getting painful. Like I said, I had such high hopes, and Zoms really knows I wanted this game to go good, and it's now the biggest laughing stock, and I don't know what to think anymore.
It's it's in one way it's so very sad, and yet in another way it's so funny because they're trying to patch this thing as fast as they possibly can. And in my mind, I'm thinking if they had held off a whole month, if they had released it in January, instead we got this release that has this game-breaking bug in it, what would have happened? Makes one wonder.
I still question, like, after they complete everything and they make a copy, they don't give it to like the employees to play, so that way they can point things out, like, hey, this is an issue.
Well, that's the entire job of game testers. When you get a game this massive, though, there's just too much to cover. Unfortunately, at this point in time, what really probably is winding up being the problem is they're trying to fix things so fast they have no time to test them before they shove it out the door. I mean, think about it. If you're trying to fix something at warp speed, what's the first thing you're going to do? Wait for somebody to play test it or let other people that are already playing the game test it and go, oh, hey, here's a major problem? Just saying. In our next news piece, Animal Crossing is getting another update. This week,
Hey, hey.
you get Pave.
What's the update? What's it entail? What are the details?
We get a peacock named Pave that dances.
Yeah, I know that. Oh my. Well, that would be interesting. I know that character. I actually find them kind of annoying, but we'll see.
Hey, you're going to get new reactions too,
Yes, I already have my selfie reaction, and I love that because it's so millennial.
and new
It's
clothing,
so opposite of what I do, I should say.
and new seasonal items. Yeah, there's going to be lots. Maybe they'll let us bop a groundhog on the head.
That's gonna be in Animal Crossing?
No,
You know what? When is Groundhog Day?
2nd of February.
I want there to be a groundhog now. It's gonna be my mission to log on 2nd of February. I need a calendar. Can somebody get me a waifu calendar, please?
I'll get on Amazon and look that up right now. So, Moxie, can you
Okay,
tell us a
thank
little
you.
bit about Pave? Because I don't know anything about this character.
Yeah, Pave, I remember back with the other games, it was almost like a Kichiro tie-in. It was never anything big. He had the Pave Festival kind of furniture set, which was a blue set with usually like a white trim or white whatever decal on it with looked like confetti squares. His whole thing is flamenco dancing. So he's gonna be. It's all about the flamenco dancing and So there, there's not really much. There, Zoms. I love it that you're dancing right now. Yes, yes. Now Broseph is too. That's great. No, Pave. There's not much to him. There never really has been. So the fact you don't really know much about Pave is fine.
Well, maybe they'll have
Like,
updated him and
seriously.
given him more to do.
I hope because like I said, he was always just a afterthought of like, "Oh, we're just gonna throw him out here and you can collect furniture pieces from him." That's it.
Wow.
And the furniture pieces weren't even that good. Didn't
Mm.
like the design.
Well, I'll let you try him out, and if you like him, then maybe I
Yep.
will.
Yeah, I will maybe do a review. Who knows?
We'll talk about it on the podcast.
There you go.
Abso-darn-alutely.
Moving on to another piece of news. Do you really want to play the PS5? I mean, really want to play the PS5? Because if you do, all you have to do, go to Dallas County, Texas, to the 7-Eleven there, and you can play PS5.
So the 7-Eleven has like a little couch set up for you to play PS5.
Oh, it's more than that. It's a whole room. There's a 7-Eleven Evolution store there that you can rent out the space via Airbnb for a night. They give you access to all these different 7-Eleven snacks, including the Slurpees, and you can just play PS5 all night long.
Interesting. I would like to visit and see this. I'm gonna have to pick you guys up on the way to Dallas County. Where's Dallas County?
Uh, that's a good question.
Don't tell them.
You'll have to look it up.
No.
Sorry, Zombs. You know what's next, though? The fact that we're getting a special edition of the Switch for Monster Hunter Rise.
Tie-in. I can see it.
Honestly, it looks kind of interesting, but the more interesting thing to come out of this piece of news is that we're actually getting a Monster Hunter themed Pro Controller, which I kind of want to get.
I would prefer the Mario version of the Switch.
I would too. That's part of the reason why I said I want the Pro Controller, because the Switch itself for the Monster Hunter version doesn't look all that interesting. But we don't get very many special versions of the Pro Controller. So I would be really interested in getting that, just because we don't get that many, and I really kind of need another Pro Controller. So
I have this one.
yeah, that doesn't count though. That's a knockoff brand.
Still good.
Yeah, it's still neat and all, but it's still a knockoff brand.
I actually have a Pro controller. Back during the start of the pandemic, my original controllers that went with the Switch were going wonky, and I tried everything to fix them, but nothing worked. So ended up just finding a Pro controller, and it was the last one in the store. Obviously, started the pandemic, so that doesn't surprise.
Indeed. That does it though for video game news. Zoms, do you have any anime news for us, buddy?
Do I ever?
Oh no. What have I done? I've unleashed Zoms!
So, a couple things actually. This is for anime and video game. Is Bleach's Yoruichi joins Jump Force 2 on February 2nd. So if anybody who has seen Bleach, it's a pretty good anime.
It's an
I mean, at first,
oldie
it
and
is.
goodie, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I liked
one of the
it.
cool classics.
I like it in the beginning. It kind of falls off in the end. There's a lot of fillers and stuff like that. But a lot of the characters are really neat. And yeah, so the Yoruichi is going to join. Really happy about that. She's a ninja. And yeah, let me see. My next one is, where is it? Oh, here we go. I had found out that yeah, Kodokawa's monthly comic, Alive, has been releasing bonus items for this anime ReZero. I've talked about that a few times, and the latest is based on Minerva, who is the Witch of Wrath in ReZero. And so now I'm going to jump into reading these comics because I just found out and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to see them. Also, Minerva is she's pretty cutesy.
And a
She's
waifu.
also very.
I knew it.
She's your waifu.
I don't know.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Don't add
Yes.
that to the points either. Anyways, so there's that. Also, we have a birthday to celebrate. Today, actually, is Sailor Uranus. His birthday today.
Hey, yeah, one of my favorites.
hmm So I thought I would point that out, as well as Vega. Everybody knows Vega
I don't know Vega.
from Street Fighter.
Okay, I know Vega.
Yeah. And Dudley.
Absolutely, that's actually something I used to play. So
hmm hmm So, also, let me see, Lola from One Piece for the hardcore One Piece fans, especially with hitting their 1,000th chapter and everything. Um, and this one I'm really excited about, but it's not today, it's tomorrow, January 28th, for Gran Torino from My Hero Academia. It's his birthday tomorrow.
Oh, it is.
hmm hmm
And
I'm gonna be happy here, but because I've read the manga, I'm gonna be very sad.
Yeah.
Man, I hate, but I'm happy. I just hate that. Yeah, I've got conflicting emotions.
Yeah. And with the animes that are going on right now, the big time ones, Doctor Stone, a lot of people were waiting for that one. ReZero, uh, going on. Attack on Titans, the final season. Uh, they've made it very clear this is the final season. It's in the title. Um, uh, Reincarnated as a slime. That's going on, as well as the one that I had mentioned. The reincarnated as a spider. So what? Super cutesy anime. Um, I would definitely recommend that one. I enjoy watching that one a lot. And the hidden dungeon only I can enter. This one, it's a little. I think it's probably for like the older audience. Not so much like mature rated. I'd say like teen. But it's pretty good once you get past like specific parts. Long story short, this guy has one of his abilities is he knows everything, but to access it, so he accesses his ability and then he talks to this great sage who knows everything, and he asks him questions, and the sage gives him the answers. But after that, he starts getting a massive headache. So they found out that, well, the person who had this ability before back in history, he um he would get his wives and he would like kiss them and it would make his headaches go away. So this one girl was like, I volunteer as tribute, one of his childhood friends, and I think she was just waiting for the opportunity. And yeah,
well, it's now time for our favorite extra special portion of the podcast. It's time for our.
big topic.
That's right. Every week we have a big topic to discuss, and this week is no different. But this week it's also extra special as this is the end of the month of Zombs. So this week we are going to be graced by yet 5 more animes that Zombs absolutely loves. But you, dear listener, can also suggest big topics to us. If you would like to, just drop us a line at nerdbreakpodcast@gmail.com. Suggest anything, ask anything, tell Zoms off that he has way too many waifus.
But I have one very specific one.
There-
There is a head waifu.
There's a head waifu? Is
There is.
that a thing?
hmm
Well, okay, Zoms. I'm officially keeping track of how many waifus you have. Last tally was 8 waifus to 3, I think? 7 to 3. Yeah, it was 7 to 3. So, Zoms, what's another one of your favorite animes?
Okay. Um, Here's one. I'm gonna say this one. You got to get past the first episode. Okay, the first episode is it it catches you. You're like, okay, this looks interesting. Um, it's one of those fantasy sword and shield time ones. Uh, just get past the first episode. Trust me. It's called Goblin Slayer.
Heard of that before.
So, yeah, I'm telling you, there's monsters in it, mostly the goblins, but it follows this adventurer who, well, two adventurers. One, she's a healer, a priest, and her friend, the goblin slayer. All he does is take jobs to slay goblins, but he's very good at it. You never see his face, and yeah, he saves her, and you just gotta what I'm telling you, get through the first episode. It's good, and then it turns really dark. Uh, get past it, and yeah, you'll be fine.
So,
They also have the first season and a movie, and I think they had mentioned another season coming out.
so what about this anime do you like so much?
The artwork is pretty good. The voices, the main character is shrouded in mystery because you never see his face. Um, he's got full on armor, uh, plate with leather, and he's just really good at hunting goblins. A lot of his methods are kind of weird, such as like, hey, let's douse ourselves in goblin blood. And of course, the cutesy little priestess is like, I don't know. And he was like, do you want to die or not? And she's like,
Welp.
oh, okay. So yeah, that's one of the methods. You also meet other people, such as like an elf. You meet a goblin, and it's almost like a dragonborn, except he's a lizard man thing. Um, they're pretty cool. Uh, they're the goblins who seem simple, but I mean they can jump on you. There's also the hobgoblin and goblin kings and lords and stuff like that.
So I have another question.
So, oh yeah,
Does does this have a waifu in it for you, Zoms?
no,
Moxie official verdict, do you believe him?
I really don't believe him. I used to work with the guy.
hmm,
Zoms, are you fibbing?
what? No.
Yeah, no, he's lying.
He is. He is. Zoms, who's the waifu? You mentioned a little priestess girl.
You after the white mage holy types?
Sometimes.
Waifu.
Yes,
No,
that's telling.
she's not a waifu.
Yeah, as you
Then
say that
how
with
would
a
you?
eating grin on your face.
I always have that.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I don't know where to put the point at the moment.
I guess our listeners are just gonna have to try to figure it out
Well,
because I'm like 100% sure that Broseph has not seen this anime, and I'm not sure if Moxie has seen it, but Moxie's just gonna have to go through and see.
Yeah, no, I have not.
well, I will not tally the waifu point against Zoms this once. So that's still 7-4 then. What's the next anime, Zoms?
The next one is going to be this is one I've talked about recently. Uh, Chunibyo, Love and Other Delusions.
Okay, what's it about?
So this one is about these kids starting high school, and this one guy moves or goes to a school really far away because he doesn't want people from his junior high to recognize him. Uh, Basically, what he does is in junior high, he's a chunibyo, which is the eighth grade complex. There's three types, so basically his imagination runs wild, and he thinks he has magic powers, and he lives in a fantasy world in his head. So as he gets older, he kind of grows out of it, and when he's reminded of it, he gets extremely embarrassed, rolling on the floor, stuff like that. And he first day at this school, and he goes to make a new friend, and this guy who's like, "Hey, let's hang out," and he says, "Okay," and he's really excited. And then this girl with an eye patch shows up, and she's claiming that she has the eye of the wicked Dark Lord, and she wants to become friends with him because he is the Dark Flame Master, which is what he used to call himself. He freaks out, and they talk about it, and he likes to karate chop her in the forehead, like to correct her and stuff like that. But she's way out there. Come to find out, another classmate of his is also relocated to get away from her past, and so the two of them are constantly nagged about their past, and they're constantly embarrassed.
And why in
And
particular do you like this anime?
I think I can connect with letting my imagination run wild. I think it's a lot of
And
fun.
it's the waifus.
It would be a slice of life anime. Even though when they do have their battles, it's all in their heads. So it's like you do see like them shooting magical blast and stuff like that. Uh, I I would definitely recommend it. There's a lot of laughs in this, a lot of smiles, and you see like the high school life. Also, you see them struggling with family members and friends and others around them, with people constantly telling them to grow up. That's all fake. It's just a phase, and the emotional turmoil that's put on them because of everybody hounding them constantly. So they end up making a group in high school where they can pretty much have like a safe place, and it adds to the cuteness.
It actually sounds like one that I would be interested in seeing since you went through all that. So
I recommend it. Unfortunately, uh, it is 2 seasons, or you can watch the movie. I was very disappointed in the movie. The movie just sums up the series.
that sounds like it's worthless.
Watch the series.
As Moxie suggested, is there a waifu Zombs?
Hmm, maybe.
Maybe.
I would say no.
Then I am unfortunately adding a point to the waifu column.
It's kinda telling. It kinda telling.
Well, that was 2 anime Zombs. What's next?
Okay. So, uh, this one, uh, pretty good anime too. It's actually pretty inspiring, and the second season comes out later this year. This one is called Rising of the Shield Hero.
We haven't heard anything about this one at all. I don't know where it came from. Gee, I think you should tell us more, Zoms.
I'm pretty sure I've talked about this one before,
I,
but
can you not tell sarcasm, Zoms?
no, it's
Moxie,
kind of
help me
hard
out.
with you too. It's your old face. She's very good
Oh,
at hiding it.
oh, burn.
I'm thinking I'm going to revoke that Valentine's bonus there, buddy.
Uh,
Oh,
oh,
come on.
poop.
He needs it. He needs it for the plastic surgery. I mean, look at his face. It's kind of drooping a little bit because he's all decayed and stuff. He's gonna need that.
My face is in.
It kind of is,
It's
buddy.
just the falling off piece of flesh.
It kind of is, buddy.
Anyways, it's nothing a little tape won't fix.
Duct
Anyways,
tape, the handyman's tool. No.
so Rising of the Shield Hero, talked about it before. This one's pretty good. It is one of my favorites. It's an isekai. This guy gets pulled into this world where there are 5 heroes: the spear, sword, bow, and shield, and like there's four heroes. And in this world, apparently, everybody hates the shield hero, so he has a hard time getting started. Um, Nobody wants to be on his team, but he does end up finding this one girl to help him. She's a raccoon girl, and she's a demi-human. So she's little
Waifu.
at first, we but then we see her every so often, and it's like she's aging. Um, Apparently, she ages with her mentality, so it's kind of weird. And then he gets an egg, and it's supposed to turn into like a dragon, but instead turns into like this little chubby bird, and then it grows over a month, and then it eventually transforms into this little blonde girl with wings who is very strong, and she helps him fight. So there's the three of them, and then they also meet another girl who turns out to be a magic user, and yeah, he's surrounded by girls. It's crazy how that happens in anime, but
Gee, I
it follows
wonder.
his
You have such a
it
brand.
follows his
You
struggles,
have such a brand, my friend. Ooh.
and yeah, it's just to see like everything pinned against him. and he's trying, and it's just everything is constantly taken from him, except these people keep sticking by his side no matter what because they genuinely believe in him that he's a good person, and as from the audience's point of view, he is a good person, and you're just figuring out why do people hate him so much. And yeah, I definitely recommend it. Season 2 comes out later this year.
One
Email us
question.
at nerdbreakpodcast. Yeah.
One question. And if you do not answer yes, then you're still getting a point against you anyways. Is there a waifu in this?
Dang it.
I'll take that as a
Fine.
yes.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. Moxie can just start calling waifus.
I mean, thing is I've heard or at least seen pictures from a lot of these that he has been naming off. Even though I haven't watched them, I already know what they're kind of about. So I'm calling out on his boo.
Well, what's the next one, Zombs?
Okay, so what are we on? 4 now?
No, that was 3.
So we're now gonna mention number 4.
Yes.
Okay. This one I thought was interesting. It's not very mainstream. This one is another isekai. Um, this one is called In Another World with My Smartphone. So this one is kind of weird. The guy, the guy basically he goes to another world. He's allowed to take one thing, and he takes a smartphone. He speaks with God, and God is like a Japanese fun grandpa. And so when he goes to heaven, he's sitting in a room, and it's like a Japanese style little home, little room. There's a TV, a little table. They're sitting down having tea, and it looks pretty fun. Anyways, he's speaking with God, and he gets his smartphone, but well, he's able to talk to God through the smartphone, and he uh, he uses it for like advancement and knowledge and everything. One of the things in there, like, so it does have simple uses like taking a picture, and he does, and he shows some people, and people are like, "Wow, that's amazing, magic!" And this one is very short. Um, I hadn't heard if there was going to be a second season or not. It was just kind of weird uh, for me when I stumbled upon this one. I had a friend tell me about it, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll give it a shot. And I did, and it was fun. So his goal is just like helping his friends get stronger. Um, they're fighting monsters and stuff like that. But yeah, I would recommend it. Give this one a shot. It's just because it's odd with how he uses his smartphone. So,
Are you saying he uses the smartphone smartly?
oh yeah, it's got like magical properties and stuff. Thank you, God. Um, and I assume that since it was given to him by God, like he always has service. So there's no dead
It's like
zones.
a Welcome to Night Vale episode with the Desert Beyond. Battery doesn't run out ever.
Yeah. So I would definitely check this one out.
So the ultimate
No,
question, though,
I want to say no.
no to the waifus?
No, I would have to go back and look at this, and I'm really curious because it was left open, so I think I'm gonna go back and look at it and see if there's gonna be a season 2. Try and do some research, but yeah, no, I'm gonna say nothing caught my eye from that one. I'm like, oh, okay,
All right.
that could change though in season 2 if it ever comes out, maybe in 8 years.
I gave you the point, trusting you. You did not mention any females, so
I mean, there are females, of course, same thing. Like, dude is surrounded by girls,
yeah. But if you don't,
but I wanted to understand more because I felt if I understood more, I would laugh even more, and I'm glad I did. This one is called Isekai Quartet, and this one basically pulls one, two, three, 4 isekai into one, um, and they all lived a high school life. So it's pretty interesting to see these isekai meet, and it's just all around funny. The episodes are only like 10 to 12 minutes long, so it's really short. There are 2 seasons, uh, and I believe I've talked about them. The second season I believe has Rising of the Shield Hero in it because that is an isekai. Um, but the isekai that I know of for sure are Konosuba, which I talked about that last time. Uh, ReZero, I talked about that the first time. One of my favorite animes. I hadn't talked about it yet, but it's called Overlord. That's an isekai.
Ooh, Overlord.
Overlord is great. Brosive, this guy, he's stuck in this video game, like he was gonna log out, and he wanted to stay in the video game until they closed the servers because that's what they were doing. And him and his friends were like one of the top guilds. They had all this amazing stuff, and they have all these amazing servants who are really powerful. And he's like, I think he's a maxed out character in the game, and he's an undead, so he's got the skull face, and he has his inner monologue for his main character. It's hilarious. He tries to play off that he's like all knowing and he already knew what they were thinking, his servants, because he gets stuck in the game when he goes to log out. He was like, I don't understand. I can't log out. Oh, well, I guess I'll just stay in here until we figure it out. And it's great. You should watch it. I love it. Um, is there a waifu in there? There is. Let me see. But we're not talking about that
Oh,
one.
dude, there is like a few. I know this anime. I'm calling you out on your bull. Calling you out, buddy.
Anyway, so that's the 3. And then the 4th anime in Isekai Quartet is Saga of Tanya the Evil. This one I haven't mentioned. This is one that I had to go back and watch. Only 12 episodes. It was great. Long story short is this dude who's a businessman, salaryman. He his job in Tokyo, Japan, back in 2013, was to fire people from his job. Fired this one guy. He's waiting at the train station after work. The guy comes back, pushes him in front of the train. He has a conversation with God right before he gets hit, and God reincarnates him as a little girl in an orphanage in another world. There's a war going on. She's got powers. Yeah, so it's a dude in a little girl's body. She's like 9 or 10, something like that. So uh, it's like World War One ish style, and in Europe. And the country it lives in is almost like it's like Germany, pretty much. According to the map, it looks like a European map, but where Germany's at, this looks more like it's in France, pretty much, or Spain, one of those 2 countries. But yeah. Anyways, no, to a waifu in there.
Yeah.
I think
I have a question
there's only
though. I have a question.
yeah.
You started out by mentioning this Isekai Quartet
Yeah.
as an anime.
Yeah.
Then you went on to mention the other isekais that are in the Isekai Quartet. So
Mhm.
what is the Isekai Quartet about then?
Isekai,
So now
apparently.
now it starts off where it's all chibi form. So I mean, like, if you don't like it, don't watch it, but I recommend it. I mean, like I said, the episodes are short and it's hilarious. You have all these characters interacting with each other. It starts off with Konosuba and Overlord, um, as their own separate. They're in their shows, and they find a red button. It's just this little box, and it's got a red button, and they're like, "What the heck is this?" So in Konosuba, he's trying to prevent everybody from touching it, and then one of the girls touches it, and she's like, "Yeah," and it warps them, brings them into this world. In Overlord, they find the button, and he was just like, well, nobody touch it. It could be a trap." And then so everybody's talking about it. Okay, yeah, you're a wise leader. It was like, "We would never go against you." And he was like, okay. And he goes to sit down in his throne, as he's standing up talking to them, and it appears on his seat, and he sits on it and warps them all. Uh, and they're all talking. They all go into this classroom where Saga and the Tanya from, or Tanya from Saga of Tanya, the Evil, is in the class. And then all of a sudden, the cast from ReZero, you hear them in the hallway. And then they walk in, and they all have to get along according to the teachers, and or else they'll be punished. And they just lived the high school life. And they had a talent show. It was odd, but okay. And everybody just watch it. It's mostly for the interactions between the two. One of my so far the two interactions that had happened was between Tanya and from Saga of Tanya the Evil, and Zal Ghul from Overlord. Like they're talking, and they find out that they're each from Japan, and they have a connection, so they're talking. And then the two from Konosuba and ReZero, they're talking because they recognize the tracksuit, and they're arguing over who has a better life. Clearly, Subaru has a better life because oh shoot, I can't remember the main character from Konosuba. He's just so upset that his team is terrible. But yeah, it's so much. It's so much.
I have
Yeah,
something to inform you of, Zombs.
yeah.
I saw what you did there, buddy.
hmm
You slapped extra animes in because of the Isekai Quartet, which means that.
No, no.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Do I need to call you
You-
out?
I just wanted to make sure that you knew all about Isekai Quartet, that you were caught up to speed. It's for our listeners so they know.
Yeah, well, guess what?
Yes.
You just lost the 5 points that you had in your favor. You now have 15 waifu points against you.
That's insane.
Too bad.
Sorry, buddy. You officially lost your argument that you don't have. First off, you lost the argument anyways because I was going to add a point to the waifu column, which would have been 10 to 5, which means that, yeah, like you have more waifus most of the time than you don't. Oh, well over
confused.
half the time. 2/3 of the time, you have a waifu in an anime. 2/3. At a minimum, 2/3 of the anime you consume has a waifu in it. I'm just changing that to level 99. There's a level 99 waifu standing right behind you, Zombs, getting ready to smother you.
You know what? Let me show you something really quick. Hold on.
I don't know
I'm-
whether we should be
I'm
scared.
gonna have to show you with my camera here. So here is the top of my bookshelf with my best figures. See, like there's My Hero Academia. There's a Ninja Turtles Hot Wheel van. There's Overwatch, Tourborn. You see them
Always a good
Yes.
character.
in the back there? Yeah, yep. So yeah, see back here, My Hero Academia, Tourborn. Yeah.
What does
So-
this have to do with the 2/3 majority waifu vote?
There's no waifus whatsoever.
Just because you don't have a statue of it doesn't mean that you don't have a poster somewhere
Let me see.
or a
Remove,
pillow or a
Captain
picture.
Captain Marvel or Poison Ivy. Oh, move them out of the way.
Excellent.
And then there's more. There's more.
Hey,
you know.
Zombs,
So
I have a request. Can you actually take pictures of these and then we will kind of include them as like maybe static images on the podcast, or at least link them?
yeah, sure.
I would like that because I'd like to also
Sent my,
see the high.
Hey, there's a waifu.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. There's no waifus.
I saw a waifu.
there's always
You
waifus.
cannot deny it.
I will send pictures to the podcast, and you guys can see all my stuff. No waifus whatsoever.
Yeah, you still lose, buddy. But that does it for this week's big topic. And I think that sums up this week's podcast very nicely. Sums is a waifu addict. We spent a whole month in the podcast. Just getting to that point.
So, I think, though, is for anybody who's listening, and you know what? I'll even throw it out to my co host. If there is indeed a number one waifu, and you can figure it out, I will give you a prize.
Okay, then.
I'll mail it in, whatever. I will personally drop it off to you.
Well, I already know what it is.
What, the prize? Or who the
No,
waifu
what the
is?
waifu is.
I don't think so.
Well, we
Email
shall
it.
see.
You can ask questions, whatever. If you need a recap, I've got my list here.
Yes.
Or you just want to talk about waifus. I mean, anime. Let's do it.
Send that email to nerdbreakpodcast@gmail.com. Zombs is waiting impatiently. Don't keep the
I
zombie
am pretty patient.
waiting. Well, again, that does it for this week's podcast. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give us a like here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Check out our reviews. Listen to more of the podcast. But as always, thank you so much for listening. If you would listen to more.
Yes.
But on behalf of myself, Zombs,
Disgaea. Disgaea. Resident Evil. Disgaea. Resident Evil.
and Moxie, who's about to explode.
I have been awakened. I have been summoned. Tell me more.
I think that's a good time to leave.
As I look up, and I'm like, oh, something grabbed my leg from hell. Oh, it's Moxie.
Yes. You know it. I'm already going to you know what anyway, so.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Adios.